Hello and welcome to Driving with Todd, and I'm Todd. We're going to do some Hawkwind. This comes in as a request. The YouTuber that goes by the name of Tim Feely comments to my reaction to Hawkwind doing Space is Deep and comments with Orgone Accumulator. Orgone Accumulator for Lemmy at his best. That's all Tim says is Orgone Accumulator for Lemmy at his best. So Lemmy is the bass player for Hawkwind, so I'm thinking, okay, there must be some really dynamite bass lines in this song. Now this song comes from Hawkwind's album Space Ritual, which came out in 1973, and it's a live album. So without talking any further, let's get into this song and see what Lemmy does with his bass guitar. Here we go. Okay, wow, I like the beginning. Kind of starts out with it's a keyboard or a synthesizer giving kind of space sounds, kind of you're like in outer space, kind of space sounds, and then all of a sudden the guitars and the bass and the drum come in, and it starts to become like hard rock. I mean, just very hard rock, and it continues that with the vocals. The vocals come in, and it's just a driving hard rock song. Now there's some kind of interesting other instruments going on in the background. I think mostly keyboards are like giving it a different sound in the background than the hard rock that's up front with the drums and the guitar and the bass. And so far, yeah, Lemmy's bass is just outrageous. I mean, he's just pounding on that thing, and it's really kind of driving this song. But wow, pretty good. I like what I hear so far. Let's keep it going and see where it goes. wow, that instrumental break was incredible. Did you hear that bass line right before the vocals came in? There was this great bass line. Wow, that was hot. But what was so cool about this instrumental break was it was like all over the place. I mean, there was like it was almost like chaotic, disciplined music. I mean, you had the hard rock guitar, drum, and bass, and that was definitely a hard rock drum, guitar, and bass. And then you had all of these different like keyboard type instruments. I'm guessing those are mostly keyboards or synthesizers. I mean, and there was a lot of them. There's one that is sounding like a trumpet, but I thinking that is a keyboard as well. But it's a trumpet like going through that part of the instrumental break. But there's all these sounds that are like space sounds coming out of different types of keyboards. So I can imagine what this was like on stage, where you've got the guitar and the bass and the drum, and then you've got all of these keyboards doing all of these spatial sounds. So it was like a combination of prog rock and hard rock. I mean, you had the hard rock that drove the bass of this song, and then you had the prog rock that just kind of did its own thing on top of the bass, guitar, the electric guitar, and the drum. How cool that was. That sounded excellent. Just really good. But that bass line right before the vocals was really tough. I'm going to go back and see if we can pick that up and then get this song going again. So listen to that bass line.
I got an Orgone Accumulator.
Wow, wow, that was pretty wild. I've never heard this song. Again, I've heard very little Hawkwind other than what I've reacted to here on my channel. But this was excellent. Now, I sent this the last Hawkwind reaction that I did. Boy, I wish I would have bought these guys when I was in high school, because this is the type of music I loved. I mean, I could have really gotten into Hawkwind. No doubt about it. But I really didn't buy their albums. I really didn't hear anything by them. I don't think they were as big in the USA here as what they were in the UK and Europe. But I'm telling you, what I've heard so far, I love. I mean, this is exactly what I was listening to back in high school, and I would have definitely been playing this on my turntable over and over and over. This is a great track. What I loved about the second half of this song, I know I stopped it right before the second set of vocals, is when they came out of the second set of vocals and Lemmy went into that bass solo. And it wasn't a short bass solo either. I mean, it was a couple minutes long, and then you had that heavy drumming in there, and then they started to feed some keyboards and some guitar in there as well. It was just a great bass solo, and it just drove. I mean, and it was loud, powerful, and it just was like you were drawn into it. It was like, this was a great bass solo. And what was cool too is near the end here, they're not only having the keyboards do kind of space sounds, they had some guitar in there too, where they're kind of like, I think, holding the strings against the fretboard, and they're just kind of hitting the strings kind of open like. That sounded really cool. Just a really kind of cool song. It would have been really interesting to see how they did this on stage. Like I said, there's so much going on in this song. You can pull things out. Here's some hard rock. Here's some weird space sounds. Here's some prog rock. Here's some vocals. But that bass solo after that second set of vocals was the whole song to me. That was just really great. I mean, it was just driving. It was powerful. I mean, it was dominating. And then the drumming came in, and that just added to that bass solo. Great song. Really enjoyed this. And what is this, 10 minutes? Over 10 and a half minutes long, and it did not seem that long. I mean, it seemed like whoop, and it was over with. Just a great tune. Yeah, good recommendation. Loved it. And like I said, they're like a combination in the songs that I've heard, combination of prog and hard rock, which is a cool combination because you get that driving beat, that driving I'm gonna headbanging type sound, and then all of a sudden you got all these weird noises that takes the song into a total different direction and takes your mind in a different place. Great song. Hawkwind, Orgone Accumulator. It's hard for me to say that word because I want to say organic, and it's Orgone or Orgone. But great song. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did enjoy it, hit that like button. That'd be so cool. If you have any comments about Hawkwind, the song Orgone Accumulator from the Space Ritual album, put in the comments below. That'd be really cool. If you haven't done so, subscribe to my channel. That'd be totally awesome of you. And if you go over here, ring that bell, you'll get updates to my latest videos. Dynamite. This was dynamite. Put a huge smile on my face. And I mean, it was a good... the other thing I want to say is there's some Boogie in here too. When they went into that bass solo, there was a little bit of Boogie in there as well. So I mean, this had a whole lot of different types of genres in it. But it worked so well together. Everything just fit perfectly. So I hope it put a smile on your face, and peace out, baby.